Hi YouTube, this is Legacy of Pretty, and I decided to put myself into the sewing tag, seamstress tag. I've been stalking YouTube and I saw this tag going around, but nobody tagged me because nobody knows who I am. So I decided what a great way to introduce myself by doing the sewing tag so you can see who this woman is and why you should be following her. So the tag has a series of questions. I put them in my phone and I am going to just go one by one, and I got this from, her name just escapes me right now, but I will put it as a caption under here so you will know who I got this from, and I hopefully can tag her in it. She's already done it, so let's see. Let's go to question number one. Who are you? Well, let's see. I am Hope McLeod. I am a wife of almost 21 years. We'll be married 21 years this year. If you hear some booming upstairs, that's my husband. He is working from home and he is actually on a conference call, and he paces when he's on conference calls. He paces and he adjusts things. He just adjusts everything. So anyway, I'm down here while he's doing that. So if you hear some booming, that's him pacing back and forth. We have 5 anyway, and they're all in school right now. Well, one of them's actually upstairs studying. That's my oldest. My oldest is 21. Then I have a 16, 14, 10, and 8. And that's who I am. I have been a stay-at-home mom for about 17 years now. And now I have time to do what I truly love, which is sewing. So let's see what else we got. When and why did you start sewing? I started sewing, I want to say middle school, about 9th grade. My mom always sewed. We always had a sewing machine in the house. She used to make my Barbie doll clothes. And I got in 9th grade and jams came out. Now if you don't know what jams are, they are shorts. They come about knee length, but they are made out of the loudest fabric you can find. If it's loud, then it's gonna be on some jams. And I wanted some jams, and she said, "You want some jams? You're gonna make some jams." So I learned how to cut the pattern. I learned how to cut the fabric, markings, all that stuff. And I think I also made a pair of paisley overalls. So that was, let's see, I am 42 now. So at least about 20 years ago, I started sewing, and I've been sewing off and on ever since. And why do I sew now? I just love to do it. It's creative, you're in your zone, and that's one of the reasons why I stopped sewing, is because I want to be in my zone. I mean, I could be out, this is my sewing room. I could be down here for hours. You know, my husband literally has to call me down to eat. So he called me up. He's like, you've been down here for like 6 hours. You need to eat something. So that's just why I love to do it. My proudest make, I have a couple. One of them is right here. And it is, my daughter used to do pageants. And I remember being so frustrated because I could not figure out how to get the fishing line into this. This is fishing line sewn into the bottom of this dress, which is what makes the dress go all floofy floofy. And so it's got a couple of layers and all of this. And so this is one of my proud makes because she actually won. Not the pageant, but she won best dress. So that's one of my proud makes. When I used to make costumes for exotic dancers, I was asked to be in a magazine, so that I was proud of that, and also making my daughter's proud prom dress. So those are a couple of things that are my proud moments. But I'm always proud when something scares me to make or install, or a technique, and then I get it and it's like, oh, it's not as hard as I thought it was. So I love stuff like that. Most disastrous make, man, I can't really, not that I have never had a disastrous make, but normally I just throw it away. I won't even keep it. I don't want to see it. I just want to, I want it to be gone from my life. So I really don't have a most disastrous. I really don't have one. I've had several, but I can't name one off the top of my head. Favorite place to fabric shop. I haven't gotten into the online. When I did costumes, I used to love Spandex House, but I haven't been there in a while. That was a website, spandexhouse.com. I'm in the Atlanta area, so I haven't been to Gail K in a while, and we do have a place called Fine Fabrics that I go to. And there's another little hidden treasure close to Stone Mountain. I can't think of the name of it. But watching the other seamstress tags, I think I'm going to really get into online fabric shopping, because I am in the country and I am probably 45 minutes to an hour from my closest fabric store. I'm close to a Joann's, but you know, Joann's fabric is in. So, most used pattern. My most used pattern is actually not a store-bought pattern, or a patterns that I've made myself. I'm gonna keep going back to the costumes. That's when I was last making, really going back to back making things was my patterns. When I would make the bottoms, I would trace my own underwear and just run with that pattern. And so I really am starting to get back into buying commercial patterns and finding a pattern I like and using it over and over. So we'll see what pattern that's going to be. Dreaded sewing task, probably cutting out the fabric. I'm just not a fan of that. It's just, let's just get to the sewing, and you know, I'm not a fan of cutting out fabric. Let's see, sewing entertainment. I love SoundCloud. I like to listen to the motivational speeches on there. I used to do YouTube, which I still do, but with SoundCloud it uses less data, and I can do other things on my phone if I need to. Like I can talk on the phone, like the phone will ring. I don't use as much data, and I can, you know, I can check Instagram and all that while I'm on SoundCloud, so it doesn't block anything else, any other apps on my phone out. And then I like to listen to podcasts. I don't have a TV in here. I'm not a big TV watcher, so I don't do the TV, but music, podcasts, and SoundCloud. So those are my favorites. Printed or PDF. I like printed. I can understand PDF. I have done some PDF sample pattern testing, and I do like those. I just can't see using them on my ink. Probably because I'm a couponer and I print out coupons, and I just want to cut out the pattern. I just haven't gotten into PDFs. That's kind of new for me, and you'll see in a minute how, you know, I'm kind of old school when it comes to how I sew. What sewing machine do you use? These are my two. This is my serger. This is a Singer Ultralock. I don't know. I think it comes from Walmart. I think it's the Walmart brand. But yeah, this is my serger. I usually only use 3 threads. I don't 4-thread it. I guess I'm just cheap like that. And this is, I don't even know the name of this. I have to look it up. I keep all my, I got this little thingy from Dollar Tree, and I keep all my sewing manuals on it. So I can tell you that this is the Singer 14 SH644. Got it from Walmart. And this is, it just says Singer. Oh, CG500/550. I actually got this sewing machine from Hobby Lobby. No. Hancock, when they were still around. So when I was making costumes, the girl that I worked with, she had an industrial sewing machine. And she would cut out patterns, put them in a Ziploc bag for me to take home and sew over the weekend. So I would sew for her, but I didn't have an industrial machine. I was just using my Janome. And I went to Hancock, and this guy said this was the closest thing to an industrial machine without it being an industrial machine. So I picked this up, and it looks innocent enough, but it is very fast. It sews extremely fast. I can't even use plastic bobbins in it because it's so fast the bobbins will hop out of the bobbin case. So I only use metal bobbins in her. She is just straight to the point. There's no decorative stitches. It's straight stitch, zigzag. That's it. That's all she does. You can't even drop it to put a sleeve on there. You gotta just get around it. But I love her. She is fast. If I teach somebody to sew, I immediately move her out the way because she's too fast. She's a workhorse, and I love her. When I was sewing, you know, tons of costumes a day, that's what I would use, and I still use her. Now, if I was doing something a little bit more delicate, or something where I needed buttonholes, I would not use her. I would go to my sewing machines, but I do not like computerized machines. I've been places where, like, sewing expos and things like that, and the people are just kind of rude, or they might be snobby because they look at me as maybe, you know, oh, she wants this machine, you know, this is a $5,000 machine, and I don't do the snobby thing. I don't roll that way. So I've just never bought one. I've never been turned on to buy one. Probably because I like a manual drive car, I like to be able to turn it just a little half a notch or up or down to get the stitches where I want them to be. So these are my two that I use. And what is the last question? Let's see. Other hobbies. If you could see this, you would see all the hobbies I have. I've got crochet hooks, I've got ribbon, I've got yarn, I've got my soap making. I make soap. I have always been a hands-on crafty girl. I love arts and crafts. I will try anything new. My kryptonite is scrapbooking, which I don't know if people still do scrapbooking, but that is my kryptonite. Luckily, we got this house and I can contain it all into one room. So my husband likes that because all that stuff is hidden. If people come and visit the house, you're not coming in this room unless you're prepared. So if you want to see my room before I clean it, let me know. I'll be happy to give you a tour of my mess. Because if I clean it, it's not going to stay clean long. So I might just give you a tour of it messy before I clean it up. So I hope you learned a little bit about me. If you have any more questions, let me know. Thanks. Talk to you guys later. Bye.